go. All righty, you are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Los Angeles Rams. And why are the Los Angeles Rams 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to fire away, throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box. Give me 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free to fire away. But plus also, instead of me just like rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free to fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. And then finally, also, just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. Hold on. Ooh, I got to move the chair for my buddy Randy. All right. Okay, Randy's here. Okay, we can continue. All right. There's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it, I'm an old fart. It's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 3,000 years from now, it'll be Twitter because I'm an old fart. It's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on him. I'm not calling it. I'm calling it Twitter. I usually try to put Giants-related stuff in there every day. If you follow me on Twitter, I will follow you back. That's a promise. And then the link right above it is a Facebook link. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We have 7,500 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. If I'm alive and breathing and if I have internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365, right? And not only do I put stuff in here, but members post stuff in here as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a boatload. There's a ton. There's a whole lot of Giants information going in this group every day. So please feel free, join it. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's a Facebook group. If you join it, you won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, roll on stuff said and done and out of the way with. Well, got some interesting stuff here. I'm going to leave the one for last would be poor Saquon. Even gets, I don't know. I mean, the unnecessary roughness and the fine, expensive fine too. My goodness, wow. But the Giants, they got a few roster moves, which is cool. Of course, they got with Lawrence Cager. I guess they pretty much, they put him, he's out. So, with injury. So pretty much you can, it's nice to see that they're getting Darrian Beavers up. So, the important thing they signed, because they signed Darrian Beavers to the active roster, Cager, injury, because we only got two games left. So is it that important to get Cager more time or anything like that? No. So put him on the IR, get him out of here, right, and bring some other people up from the practice squad and let them get some experience, get some plays in there. Now the thing is here with Darrian Beavers, okay, now he came, right. Now Beavers came with I'm sorry, he didn't come. He was drafted, right, by Shane and Dable, right? So they want to see, what he can do. Unfortunately, last season he got injured. Now, of course, he came back and all, and a lot of times what they say, with ACLs, right? You can come back from an ACL. A lot of these guys. I mean, I tell you what, the way these guys are nowadays, it's simply freaking amazing. They tear their ACL, and before you know it, they're like back and ready to go. It's like absolutely amazing what these guys are capable of doing. I mean, it's the determination and the effort and all put out by the player, obviously, but it's also modern technology. I mean, guy tears his ACL back in 1960. He's probably out for like 13 years or something like that. Not nowadays, the modern technology that we have. But what they do say with the ACL is that you can come back by the next year, but they usually say by the second season. Okay, that's when you'll start seeing some better. Should start seeing some better results. So. He didn't wasn't able to crack the 53, right? The 53-man roster, but he was on the practice squad. The Giants drafted him. They saw something in him. Don't want to let him go. So he was on the practice squad, but obviously, he could be plucked, put on somebody else's 53 if need be. Thankfully, that didn't happen. And because, especially because they drafted him. Now, this is going to be huge for Darien Beavers because, as I mentioned, was it last night? Might have been last night. I ain't got no brain. I can't remember. I think it was last night. I was talking about Carter Coughlin and Cam Brown. This is their final rodeos here. You're not sure what those guys, don't have a crystal ball here. You don't know what Shane and Dable think of those guys because, they came with Kmart. When Shane and Dable arrived here, they were already here, right? So you're not exactly sure what they think of them. Now, on Brown and Coughlin on special teams, yes, okay. There are, they know the defense and all that and everything, but especially with Cam Brown, they are a little bit of a liability on defense. All right. Now, but I mean, you don't know. Those guys are perfect examples, okay, of what you need to build the roster, right? You need those low, so if the Giants were to re-sign them, right? Could be cheap. Whether they want to stay here or go someplace else, no. But if the Giants want to, sign them, re-sign them, to another year or two contract, whatever. You don't know. You won't find out until after the season's over with. But they'll be cheap, okay? But as I said, special teams are good. Defense not so good. Darien Beavers quite possibly, especially if he's able to come back next season, right? He could quite possibly, have some maybe get some snaps or some reps maybe on defense. Possibly. We'll have to wait and see. But as it's special teams, can he perform on special teams? He's got the size, he's got the height and everything that, he can be very valuable on special teams. Is he able to, do they see a role for him on special teams? If not, you have to wait and see. But, these next couple games could be huge for Darien Beavers. So it's good that they finally got him up there. I'll tell you what, in the, I think in this article it talks about. Actually, I think it does. Yeah, it does. He was having such a good, training camp and preseason and all and everything last year. Then he got injured. So a lot of some good high hopes for him last season. Unfortunately, that never came to fruition because he got injured. So, but at least these next two games, we'll have to wait and see how many snaps he gets. If he does he get on the field at all on defense, or is it just special teams? We'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. So they made a couple roster moves here, most notably signing linebacker Darien Beavers to the active roster off the practice squad. Cool. Very, very good. I'm excited. It's good to just want to see the guy get on the field, right? The Giants originally drafted Beavers out of Cincinnati in the 6th round. of the 2022 draft. Beavers was generally considered to be a day 2 or early day 3 prospect, but slipped down the draft board. He played up to his initial draft evaluation with an impressive spring and summer for the Giants. Beavers flashed in camp in the Giants' first 2 preseason games. With good play downhill against the run as well as in space, which was unexpected of the 6'4", 255-pound linebacker. I mean, he's got great height, 6'4", 255. Nice size. Certainly not undersized by any stretch of imagination. I mean, a good, solid a linebacker. Let's see. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL in the Giants' second preseason game against the Bengals, and his rookie season was over before it could begin. Now, I think that's that was a rough game, because I think that's the one that Kayvon got injured as well in too. So that was a rough game. But fortunately, Kayvon was able to come back, although it took him a few games. But unfortunately, sadly, Beavers was gone. So he was able to avoid the PUP list and return to the field to start camp with the Giants. However, Beavers wasn't able to win a job on the 53-man roster. He was waived and after preseason and signed to the Giants practice squad. So it was good. It was good that he was able to clear waivers and all that and everything, and he didn't wind up getting picked up by somebody else. So that's good. It's really, really anxious to see at least have the guy get on the field. But I said, don't be surprised if next season, if he watches his P's and Q's and does a good job and all that stuff and everything, don't be surprised if he maybe makes the final 53 next season. Because I said a lot of times they were just hearing like that from the ACL. You can come back that first season, but usually it's the second season where you start performing better. So says the last 2 games will be an opportunity for Beavers to get some in-game experience before the 2024 off season. Now, as I said, you have to wait and see. Will he get any snaps on defense? That I don't know. But how about special teams, right? Giants placed Lawrence Cager on the injury reserve in a corresponding roster move. Cager was listed as doubtful for the Giants game against the Rams with a groin injury in their final injury report. So basically now that Cager, the Giants shouldn't have anybody doubtful, this or that, or blah, 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 or anything like that. So let's see, what do we got here? They just punted it back. Unfortunately, it looks like the Cowboys might wind up prevailing, especially if the Lions can't hold them here. It's Cowboys 17, Lions 13, 5:52 left to go in the fourth quarter. Now, of course, the thing that pisses me off is the Lions were down there. Was it before halftime? I think it was. The Lions got down to the 3-yard line or so. It was 4th down and 2 or 3, whatever it was, and they decided to go for it on 4th down. Of course, they didn't make it, so they had a field goal in their pocket, pretty much. It would have been a 20-yard field goal. So the score could be 17-16 right now, but they went to, But They punted the ball back to the Cowboys. Got 5:52 left to go in the fourth. Can they stop the Cowboys, or will they just let the Cowboys march right down the field? Is what the Cowboys just did the last drive to take the lead at 17-13. So, all right. So anyway, but as I said, it'd be good to see Beavers on the field. But according now, they got Cage on the IR. There shouldn't be anybody out, or shouldn't be anybody doubtful, right? Kicker Mason Crosby and wide receiver Dennis Houston were also elevated from the practice squad for this week's game. Crosby was signed to the practice squad following the injuries to Randy Bullock and Cade York, and his elevation is expected. Houston was signed to the Giants practice squad back on August 31st after being waived by the Cowboys. This is an opportunity for him to get on the field, even if it's only on special teams, and perhaps earn a futures contract for 2024. Absolutely. You got, you have an opportunity here, right? What can you do? What can you make of, your opportunities? And as I said, just be on special teams, Can he make a name for himself? Because I mean, you want to, latch on to a roster, right? They said the Giants maybe give some type of a futures contract, so we'll have to wait and see. So it's an opportunity for him, and you're always pulling for guys like this, right? You're always pulling for guys like that. So let's see what he can wind up doing. Now, the only other thing, the kind of a little questionable thing or whatever, it's kind of like, what about the hammer? What about what's going on with the Scottish hammer? Because he had like he had a knee, I don't know if it's a hamstring or a groin or something like. He looked like he had a couple things kind of going on there. Is he going to be okay to punt? Or is he going to, because he had the first one that he had against the Eagles last week wound up being a short one, and that wound up being the one that the guy ran it all the way back, like the 13-yard line or the 12-yard line. Was it a 54 yards? He ran it back, I think it was. And of course, 2 plays later, boom, 7-0 Eagles. It's like you just sit down with your popcorn and your soda, and it's like, the Eagles are up 35-0 or what? What's going on? It's just unbelievable. So, how is he going to perform? Is he going to be able to boom it? I mean, the games obviously it's just pride for the Giants. There's no playoffs on the line, but they are trying to knock the Rams out of the playoffs if they can, and they're trying to maybe hurt the Eagles, playoff chances or record or whatever if they can. So now, which also talking about that, the Cowboys, the final game they're going to be on the road against the Commanders. Now, if they can hold on and win here, I hope they don't. That means they'll always be one game behind the Eagles, right? So if the Giants could knock the Eagles off the last game of the season, and the Cowboys could beat the Commanders if they wind up tied, right? The Cowboys would wind up first, and I think the Eagles would be in second place. Hold on. Excuse me. So that final game of the season could be freaking huge, especially if the Cowboys hold on here. The Cowboys hold on and wind up winning. The final game of the season could be huge for the Philadelphia Eagles here, and it could be huge for the Giants if they have any inclinations of maybe knocking the Eagles maybe out of looks up. Nope. Cowboys driving. Yep, down to the 42-yard line. Looks like the Lions defense ain't going to be able to hold them. The dam is broken. Water's gushing out, and Cowboys just walking right down the field, ready to put the game out of reach here. 3 minutes, 32 seconds to go. Cowboys just walking down the field. Looks like the Cowboys are going to go 11-5. So, as I said, so after the Cowboys win this one, it doesn't matter too much. I mean, the Lions, they won their division, right? But I mean, the Cowboys will be 11-5. If the Eagles wind up winning, they'll be 12-4. And then going into that final game of the season, the Cowboys will be at the Commanders, and the Eagles will be playing in New York against the Giants. And that could be for the Eagles, right? That could be for the winning the division or becoming a wild card team and being on the road for all the games for the wild card. I mean, for the playoffs. So that could be that game, the final game of the season could be freaking huge for the Eagles. So, all right. So now we got, and then of course the Giants, unfortunately, it looks like they lost their strength and conditioning coach. Florida football hires new strength and conditioning coach from the New York Giants. So now, if you look at this guy's, he never stays anywhere very long. I had it here, didn't I? Nope. I guess I thought I had something here. It showed. I guess not. Oh yeah, here we go. Craig Fitzgerald. Florida football hired Craig Fitzgerald as its new director of football strength and conditioning on Saturday. Fitzgerald will take on an important role leading the Florida Gators offseason program. He replaces Mark Hawk, I believe, who was reassigned earlier this month. Not resigned, but reassigned. I'm not sure reassigned where they reassigned him at, but Fitzgerald brings 25 years of college and NFL experience to the job, including stints at Maryland for like 6 seasons, Harvard for looks like 5 seasons, South Carolina for 3 seasons, Penn State for 3 seasons, Houston Texans for 4 seasons, Tennessee for 2, and the Giants for 4. So he never stays in any one particular spot much longer than like 3, 4, 5 years. So he's been with the Giants for like from 2020 to 2023. So yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully the Giants, get somebody in there, 4th and 13. Uh-oh. So 2:39 to go. The ball is at the 50-yard line. 4th and 13. Cowboys are going to punt. They just punted. And okay, to the Detroit 11. The line. See, this is the thing that they just. Now the Lions have 89 yards they have to go. They have 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. Okay, so that's cool. They got plenty of time. But the thing that just ticks me off is they kicked the field goal earlier in the second quarter. They would have 16 points right now. Cowboys have 17, so it's 17-16. All the Lions would need to do would be get in the field goal range and kick the game-winning field goal. But now, since they went for it on 4th down and 2 or 3 or whatever it was, and they didn't get it, you like a coach that goes for it and all and everything. But I mean, right? Well, they wouldn't even be a field goal right now, and they could win the football game. But instead of that, now they have to score a touchdown, and they've only scored 1 touchdown so far. So let's say Goff up the middle to Laporta for 15 yards. So they're out to the 26-yard line. They got 74 yards to go in about 2 minutes. So let's see if they can pull it off. So it's so the Giants have to bring a new strength and conditioning coach in. It's you kind of hope. I mean, there's so many guys out there. I mean, I'm sure they have somebody on their radar. Once again, there's so many guys out there that would love to come. Either they got, maybe they might elevate somebody from within. That's possible. Right? The Cowboys got the ball. They intercepted. When they intercepted, yep, game over. Okay. Gotta hate the fucking Cowboys. Absolutely can hate them. All right. Let's see. Down there, Florida said, we're very excited to add Fitz to our team, Florida football coach Billy Napier said. He brings a significant level of experience in both college and the NFL. He will help each player on our team reach their potential. His reputation precedes itself, and we're excited about the leadership he will bring and the impact he will have on our entire organization. Fitzgerald left a positive impression during his 3-year stint with the Giants, which included helping star running back Saquon Barkley return from injury, which is true. This is very true. And Sexy said, the sexy one, he does a good job working with the big guys. New York Giants defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence told the Daily News. Like the D lineman, he helps us work on our joints around the nicks and bruises that I would get throughout the game. All of it is relative to being on the field and things we need to stay healthy the most as a defensive lineman. So, then the hire also received a strong endorsement from head ball coach as Fitzgerald worked under Steve Spurrier at South Carolina from 2009 to 2011. Steve Spurrier said, Craig is one of the best strength coaches that I've had, and he will certainly help our Gators football team. So obviously, wish him well. It's, it can be a huge loss, but as I said, there are other guys out there. I don't think it's quite as bad as maybe losing, maybe a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator, somebody like that or whatever. But as I said, anybody with strength and conditioning or whatever, is huge. They need to find somebody, adequate, or to take his place. I said whether they elevate somebody from within or they go out and find somebody else, who knows? That remains to be seen. But wish the guy nothing but the best. But I'm sure the Giants will certainly find somebody. That's for sure. All right. And then how about when the Rams have the ball, or in other words, when the Giants are on defense? Now, the Giants are going to have to, they're going to have to watch their P's and Q's here. That is for darn sure. Because the, the Rams, they're starting to fire. Their tight end, the wide receivers, the running back, the running game is very, very good. They're really rolling. I mean, they're on a roll these past, I think, 6 games. I think they're 5-1 in their last 6, and of course, their one loss was they lost to Baltimore and the Ravens in an overtime game. The dude ran a punt back in overtime for a touchdown. So other than that, the Rams have been doing really well. This is the 5-10 New York Giants. This is from Big Blue View. Is this Rivka Board? Nope, this is Nick Filato. Nick Filato. The Rams currently occupy the 6th seed in the playoffs, tied with the Seahawks, who own the 7th seed. This week 16 matchup is important to the Rams, who travel to the East Coast for 1 p.m. start. Los Angeles ends their season against the 11-4 San Francisco 49ers. Matt Stafford and the Rams are one of the hottest teams in football. They've won 5 of the last 6 games and just defeated New Orleans Saints 30-22 on Thursday Night Football. The Rams had an extended break, and the Giants are on a short week after their 33-25 defeat on Monday. New York is waiting to turn the somber page of the 2023 campaign to the offseason. The Tommy DeVito chicken Parmesan cutlets craze gained sanity against the Eagles as the rookie was benched at halftime in favor of veteran signal caller Tyrod Taylor, who Brian Daboll confirmed will start against the Rams. The Giants can attempt to play spoiler on a good Rams team, who it'd be poetic if Jalen Hyatt scored a game-winning touchdown against the Rams. The team Daboll called for a trade-up at last year's draft. Remember? This is what you love about McVay, the coach of the Rams. You got it, now how much of a say he had in this or not, that you don't know. But Daboll just didn't pick the freaking phone up or nothing like that, right? Daboll said, I'm going to text McVay, right? So they didn't want to trade their 3rd and 4th round pick. So what Shane said, find out when we can trade our 5th round pick away, right? So to trade the 3rd, and so Daboll's texting McVay. He said, "Hey, can we trade up with you? Right? If we give you our 3rd and our 5th, okay, is that okay?" And McVay texted him back, "Yeah, cool." So I mean, I don't know. McVay, obviously, whoever the GM is, I don't know who the GM is, but he's like, "Hey, the Giants want to trade up with us, so they'll their 3rd and their 5th. Is that okay?" And we'll take that. And I guess the GM went back, and McVay went and texted, "Yeah, that's cool." Now, I'll tell you what, the Rams did a phenomenal job. They had 14 picks. So what they did, right? Because they won the Super Bowl. They put all the chips in the middle of the table. They had a bunch of high, they had OBJ and Von Miller and I think Wagner and Ramsey. So I mean, they were chips in the middle of the table. We put all on the Super Bowl, baby. Come on, Mama needs a new pair of shoes. Woohoo! Right? Chips in the middle of the table. Well, they knew after that season was over with, it was all come tumbling down. It was crumbling, right? So they were getting rid of, so they realized that last season was going to be pretty much a lost season, which it was. But they had 14 draft picks. All 14 of their draft picks made the team, right? And not only that, but it seemed like they're almost like ahead of the curve. Now they're 8-7. Right? If they can beat the Giants here on Sunday, they're guaranteed themselves a winning record. And I don't know if they beat the Giants, if they guarantee themselves a playoff. That I don't know. I'm not sure. But I mean, they're really doing good. I mean, their offense is doing. Their defense isn't bad, not bad. But their offense is doing very, very well, really well. So I mean, they've really turned things around in a hurry. So, but what they did was they just started collecting picks. right? And they had 14 draft picks. They really did well. They really did well for themselves. Let's see here. So what happens when the Rams have the football? Giants can attempt to play spoiler on a good Rams team, right? Perhaps Taylor's penchant to keep his eyes downfield led to the longest pass of the season against the Eagles as Darius Slayton received the 69-yard touchdown pass. Hyatt hasn't had a catch since the Green Bay game. Jeez, it's just amazing. You know, get the ball in the guy's hands. I mean, it just, I don't know. And he didn't receive a target last week. It's like, come on. Really? It would be a nice storyline if he had a quality game against a team like the Rams. Absolutely. I mean, the Rams, they're very susceptible. Their secondary is not very good. So, you know, Hyatt can certainly could have something to say in this game, not question. Offensive statistics: the Rams offense aligns in 11 personnel over 90% of the snaps. So they got one tight end and they got one running back over 90% of the time. They average 23.8 points per game, which is 8th in the NFL. So basically they're averaging 24 points per game. Very, very good. Meanwhile, the Giants are only averaging 14 points a game. And you know, I would be shocked if the Giants were to win this and the Giants didn't score 20 points. Absolutely shocked that the Giants are going to win this game. However it's going to come to be, right? Right. However, I mean, if they get a pick six, they run it back, or they block a punt, whatever. However, if the Giants are going to win this, however the point, whether Santa Claus comes from the sky with Rudolph and Santa Claus delivers 3 touchdowns to the Giants, however it happens, the Giants are going to win this game. They're going to have to score over 20 points. They're not winning 17-13. Yeah. So if they were to win and they don't score 20, I'd be really shocked. They're going to need to score at least 20 points in this game. So, as I said, however that comes, it could be a pick six and you know, somebody kicks 7 field goals, but a Crosby, you know, they got to score at least 20 points in this game. But I mean, the Rams secondary can be had. The thing is, can we get Taylor to stay upright long enough to take shots at the secondary? And also, I mean, they're not only the cornerbacks, but their safeties give up plays as well too. So what I like about this, instead of having Tommy Chicken Cutlet Parmesan hold the vodka sauce on the side back there, who has his blinders on, who just looks for the 5 and 10 yard passes, right? Tyrod's got his eye, he's up, maybe looking here, but then he's ready to maybe take a shot downfield. So this could be a good game for Hyatt. I'm not saying he's going to have 7 catches for 185 yards and 4 touchdowns, but this could be a game. Especially I said, I don't think neither one of their safeties is particularly good at coverage either. So I mean, between maybe a Slayton and maybe a Hyatt, maybe down. So look for maybe a Jalen Hyatt sighting in this game. Wouldn't that be freaking awesome? I don't know. It's like, okay, he didn't get a chart, but do we have to? Is that where we're at? We have to now, Jaylen. You have to stay wide. You have to run a pattern, and then you have to be open. Then we'll throw you the ball. That's the way it's got to be. Really, is that? I mean, you can't get the freaking guy. I mean, the guy runs through a school zone, and the cops got to give him a traffic ticket, a speeding ticket, because he's so fast. So we can't get the ball in the guy's hands any other way. Really? Yeah. Sure about that? I mean, get the ball in guys' hands who can make things happen. I don't know. Okay. All right. Let's see. They averaged the Rams 364 yards per game, which is 7th in the NFL. Once again, very good. The Rams ranked 10th in the NFL in passing yards with an average of about 242 passing yards a game. And they ranked 10th in rushing yards, averaging 122. So just overall, very solid offense. They're not maybe up there with maybe what the Cowboys score, the Dolphins are like, but 24 points a game. Their passing yards, their rushing yards, everything just very, very solid. Stafford's having a very good second half of the season. Quarterback Matt Stafford has thrown for 3,648 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. So, he's on pace for like 25, 26 touchdown passes, well over 4,000 yards passing. A very good season. Nick Falato says, in my opinion, he is still one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. McVay does an amazing job marrying his rushing and passing attacks, and making them look similar, which results in a dangerous play-action passing attack, which is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. McVay leans on the running of Williams from Notre Dame, who has 1,057 rushing yards with 9 touchdowns in just 11 games. So he has 1,057 yards in 11 games. So he's averaging darn near almost 100 yards a game rushing. Williams is a capable, smart runner who offers Stafford a good option in space with checkdowns. Williams has 30 catches for 192 yards. So in 11 games, he has 30 catches. Not bad. And he has 3 receiving touchdowns on the season. The rise of rookie 5th-round pick Puka Nacua. What a pick this guy's been. Jesus goodness. Revitalized the Rams offense and provided McVay a much-needed second option behind the Cupmeister, Cooper Kupp. For several seasons, the 2022 Rams struggled, for several reasons. The 2022 Rams struggled, and one of them could surmise the loss of Robert Woods affected the offense, and veteran Allen Robinson could not fill the void. Nacua filled the void and then some. Absolutely. Nacua has 96 catches. So he's going to have over 100 catches on the season. He has 1,327 yards with 5 touchdowns. He poses a unique problem for defenses who look to eliminate the Cupmeister as the primary threat. Kupp missed several games this season, but does have 55 catches for 710 yards and 4 touchdowns in 11 games. Demarcus Robinson has 4 touchdowns in 4 consecutive games, and his snap share has risen significantly. McVay does alternate Tutu Atwell, who started the season in 11 personnel, but it does appear that Robinson has seized the role for now. Robinson has 20 catches for 279 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season. His first game with more than 2 catches was Week 13 against Cleveland. Tyler Higbee is the Rams' tight end, who's a very solid tight end. But rookie Davis Allen has received more work in recent weeks. Both are big-bodied physical tight ends, but Allen provides slightly more juice. The Rams typically deviate from their 11 personnel only in short yardage and in goal line. So pretty much in between the 20s, right, they're going to be 11 personnel. The Rams' capable offensive line consists of Jackson at left tackle, Avila at left guard, Coleman Shelton at center, Kevin Dotson at right guard, who they got from Pittsburgh, and Havenstein at right tackle. Jackson leads the team in pressures allowed with 36, but also has allowed only 1 sack. Overall, the offensive line is adequate. Giants game plan. Under Wink, the Giants have done a solid overall job against zone rushing teams with an immobile quarterback, which Stafford would be. Addition of Bobby Okereke and the development of Micah McFadden has improved the Giants' ability to effectively fit power gap, which the Rams have run more often in recent weeks. McVay, who is typically associated with outside zone runs, may look to run counter against the Giants' base 5-man base front. When the Giants opt to employ the base against an 11 personnel team like the Rams, I expect the Giants to match with a nickel 2-4-5 or 3-3-5 to get more speed on the field. The Giants 5-0 looks could pose mismatches for the Rams and protection for the loss. The Rams would respond with a man protection that could be exploited by Dexter Lawrence. However, Sexy's got his problem with his hamstring, so right. However, the Giants will likely use nickel, and there's obvious 11 personnel passing situations, and Lawrence's injury has precluded him from a larger snap share. This likely makes Matt Stafford quite happy. Oh, I bet it does. Deep crossing routes have been a problem for the Giants in man coverage. DeVonta Smith torched Cordell Flott for a long touchdown as the Giants rolled safety Xavier McKinney over A.J. Brown. New York could look to focus on either Kupp or Nacua. And Stafford is sharp enough to notice the tendency and attack the one-on-one matchup that doesn't have coverage rolled. New York was creative against Philadelphia, and it didn't really work. I expect a more simple approach from Wick Martindale. However, stopping the run and handling the play-action passing game must be priority for the Giants. The Giants should do better against the run without the threat of Hurts to worry about, which is true. I mean, having, whether you like him or not, like him, dislike him, or whatever. I mean, Hurts, is, just the threat of him running. And not only it's just the threat of him running, but he's just a good, elusive runner. And it's tough to bring him down. So that's tough. But now you're looking at Stafford now, it's a little more on, at ease, right? He's not going to take off and go 80 yards on you. Right? We're not talking, Lamar Jackson. All right. Stafford has been dialed in against the blitz this season. He has thrown for 1,034 yards with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions against the blitz. Martindale may pick and choose his blitzes wisely against Stafford with a healthy Nacua and Kupp. The Rams are a very formidable team who have a lot at stake. Yes, they do. They received extra rest, but are traveling across the country for a possible nasty weather and New Year's Eve game. If the weather is rough, they may throw off the efficiency of the passing attack. Still, the Rams should handle the Giants, but I don't expect New York to roll over as veteran Tyrod Taylor looks to earn a second win of the season. Yeah, I'm certainly not going to say that the Giants are going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Giants keep this one close. If they lose like 27-21 or 24-20 or something like whatever, I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, if the Giants, you got to play the games, right? Everybody was kind of, against the Packers. The Giants don't win on prime time. Just chalk up an L for the Giants. It's Monday Night Football. Giants never win on Monday Night Football, right? So, we got a third string quarterback in there. Forget about it. They ain't winning. We won, right? The Packers maybe didn't have a fantastic game. Love had some bad passes in there. Didn't have a phenomenal game, right? The Packers were coming in looking like a good team. Right? They were kind of on a roll. People were really picking the Packers in that game against the Giants. Well, the same thing here. The Rams are coming on a roll, really looking good, right? They got the playoffs in mind and all that, right? So, the Giants just have nothing but pride to play for. So, don't be surprised. Hey, if the Giants win this, I won't be surprised. Or if the Giants keep it close, 27-21, whatever. So like within one score, I wouldn't be surprised either. The Rams are on a roll. But once again, they're 8-7. Okay, so they're, over the whole stretch of the season, they're mediocre, right? Their offense has been doing good of late, right? But their defense it's not the steel curtain out there, right? I said especially their pass defense. Obviously, what are they going to do against Aaron Donald, right? They double team him, triple team him. Put the whole offensive line on them, quadruple, But can they keep Tyrod up long enough for him to pick apart the susceptible Rams secondary, right? But it's also going to be important because Tyrod last week, he missed a couple throws too, right? Had a couple passes dropped, but he missed a couple throws too. So if you got an open receiver, he's going to need to hit him. And when the ball comes your way, the Giants are going to need to catch him. It's not something the Giants can drop 3 or 4 balls. We'll make up for it. Our offense is so good, we'll make up for it. No, you're not making up for it, right? So the Giants are going to have to hit on all cylinders for this game. Right? I don't see them shutting the Rams out, right? But then likewise, the Giants should score some points. So it should be a good game. Should be, I don't want to jinx the Giants, but certainly could be a very, very good game, very entertaining game. And then finally, also, it's like I see like what did he get fined here? Poor Saquon got fined for was over $20,000, almost $22,000. The running back unnecessary roughness fines have hit Giants tailback Saquon Barkley. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network reported that the NFL had fined Barkley $21,855 for unnecessary roughness for a play against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 15. I mean, come on, man. Barkley lowered his head and likely gained a few extra yards as a result, but Pelissero reported that the league has been cracking down on all season on players lowering their heads to initiate contract. Barkley is the 24th running back to be fined this season per Spot Track. J.J. Watt, love man. I'll tell you what a player he was. He said, first running back gets crushed in contract negotiations. Now they can't even play their position without risking fines. How are you, this is J.J. Watt saying this, how are you supposed to run between the tackles and properly protect yourself? You want to run straight up and down and get your knees blown out? And he says, it's football. You know what I mean? Guys running, the guys there, what do you lower your head, you initiate the contract, you get down low, you lower your head, you keep your feet driving, right? You run the freaking guy over. I mean, come on, man. Come on. It's freaking ridiculous. Let's see here. And I'm looking at it from the end zone. He takes the handoff from Tommy Chicken Cutlets. He lowers his head. And he did. He plowed the dude over and got a few extra yards. I mean, come on. I said really unnecessary roughness. I mean, I'm kind of like, along the lines of like what J.J. Watt was talking about. I mean, when it was, gets the handoff, he's supposed to run upright like this. I guess you're supposed to just give everybody a stiff arm, running straight up and down. I mean, like it's electric football. I don't know if you've ever seen electric football. I still got my electric football, man. You got, the running back, he's got his arms like this, his head's up, and his arms like this. I guess he's giving everybody stuff like the electric football man. I mean, it's football. You lower your head, right? You get down, you keep your legs driving, you lower your head, right? Right? You send a dude come on, man, that's a bit much. I mean, I'm all for player safety and this, that, and the other thing like that. But I mean, I'm at $22,000 for that. Jeez, what a shame. What a shame. But, well, 2 games to go, guys. But this time tomorrow, we'll be down to 1. So with the Cowboys' victory, that final game of the season against the Eagles is going to be a huge game. Huge game. I mean, both these games are huge. I mean, for the Rams. I mean, for the Giants too, right? You want to, and any experience that these guys will get going forward. I said, like, especially Darian Beavers going forward is going to be absolutely huge. The game, we got nothing but pride to play for, but let's see if we can maybe knock the Rams out of the playoffs or really hurt their chances, right? We certainly can. And I said that final game of the season, right? You're going to have the Cowboys will have, 5 losses. The Eagles are probably going to have 4. Right. And if the Cowboys beat the Commanders in Washington, that one game again, we're not sure if it's going to be a Saturday or Sunday. So you don't know what day it's going to be. Be pretty sure that it's going to be the same time as with the Cowboys. So you got the Cowboys and Commanders and the Eagles and the Giants probably playing at the same time. So if the Cowboys can win against the Commanders and if the Giants can somehow beat the Eagles, that way, they both have 5 losses, but I think that'll catapult the Cowboys to the number 1, right? They'll win the division. Eagles will be number 2. They'll both be 12-5, but the Eagles at 12-5 will be number 2, and then that'll make the Eagles a wild card team. So that means the Eagles have to win quite possibly 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl, and I don't see that happening. So, these next 2 games are absolutely huge, absolutely huge. Let's just hope that they're enjoyable. Right, for us Giant fans, and if we don't wind up winning, let's hope that we at least don't get blown out in it. As I said, I can certainly see tomorrow. As long as the Giants don't beat themselves, meaning, Tyrod throws a pick six, we get a punt blower, have a punt return back for a touchdown, or what happened in the Cowboy game. Crosby kicks a field goal, gets blocked, dude runs it back for, we don't have 4 or 5 turnovers or something like that. I mean, if we can, have every drive for the Giants end in a kick, whether it's an extra point, a field goal, or punt, right? I think the defense will do a decent enough job. We're not going to shut the Rams out, right? But I think, as long as the Giants don't beat themselves, right, I think that this certainly could be a very close and entertaining game. Not saying the Giants are going to win, but, they have a chance. All right, guys, it's been 50 minutes, so let's go Giants, baby, right? So whoever spent any time watching me live, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from above our heart. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.